Hi, my name is Shamira Frutas. Currently, I am a student pursuing a master's degree at UA Open Campus, studying management. And this presentation is for a critical, analytical, and communication skills for managers course facilitated by coordinator Ms. Nicole Scott. I am employed at a local bank, Atlantic Bank, and hold a supervisory position as relationship officer, most commonly known as credit officer. My argumentative essay topic is based on organizational culture. There are 5 local banks in Belize, each providing similar financial products and services to assist businesses and consumers to effectively accomplish their financial goals. However, although Atlantic Bank may not offer the best interest rates, fastest delivery, or allow maximum financing on loans for consumers, the company retains a stable, loyal customer base who prefer the personal touch of being able to easily access and talk to their officers and see the importance of responsible borrowing through financial advice received and the transparency of services provided. Hence, this culture of being customer centric has served as an effective competitive tool for Atlantic Bank and has led to its continuous growth and development as the leading force in Belize's financial industry. This has led me to the conclusion that a strong, effective organizational culture leads to competitive advantage and greater success of an organization. Kenneth Desson of Penter Communications Inc. and Joseph Clother of Clother and Associates Management Consulting defines organizational culture as the personality of an organization that guides how employees think and act on the job. It is central to the values, beliefs, interpersonal behaviors, and attitudes that determine how the organization functions. Bear in mind, however, an organizational culture can be its strongest asset or biggest liability. It evolves from its founders' values and preferences, which are then passed on to subsequent leaders and thereafter trickles down throughout the organization. The organization must also evolve and survive, adapting to the continuously changing industry demands. Therefore, they must face both external and internal challenges and must learn to deal with them. If these changes yield success, then the values, traits, and such activities are retained. Thereafter, as the company matures, its values are refined and strengthened. Then new employees are hired, then taught the way of how things are done. Therefore, culture is a driving force and highly determines the continuous success of an organization. Primarily, if culture is effectively used, it can assist in achieving the organization's goals. Secondly, it attracts and retains desirable employees. And finally, it develops a positive public image. However, my research has also brought up negative references to organizational culture, which can hinder development and growth. Therefore, managers must recognize and salvage what is useful and work towards positive change. John, Carolyn, and James Thomas from Strategy Plus Business magazine define organizational culture as a self-sustaining pattern of behavior that determines how things are done, made of instinctive, repetitive habits and emotional responses, therefore cannot be copied and is not easily managed. Culture has evolved over the life of an organization and manages how daily activities are carried out, how decisions are made, how people communicate and collaborate, and so forth. Therefore, most difficult to change. Your current cultural situation is what is. Yet it contains advantages for the company as well as disadvantages. Therefore, it is necessary for an organization to recognize and understand its culture and work with useful traits that can affect positive change. Some organizational culture becomes attractive also based on their success rate. They become externally known for their good treatment and development of their personnel. As Andy Smith and his works on Principles of Management textbook, published by Saylor Academy, defines a people-oriented organizational culture as one which values fairness, supportiveness, respecting individual rights, also focusing on employee retention. These companies provide good benefits and compensation packages fair in treatment and advancement of staff, investment in their continuous development, empower staff to make or contribute to decisions, and promote transparency and effective communication, and so forth, all focused on motivating staff. These companies therefore attract and retain talent, and skilled and innovative employees will actively seek to advance the organization. Kenneth Desson of Penter Communications Inc. and Joseph Clother of Clother and Associates Management Consulting states how organizations develop reputations over time for being, for example, innovative or traditional, transparent or secretive, responsible and reliable, or adventurous and risky. Each culture caters to a different segment of the market, also appeals to people willing to work there who share similar traits. If an organization has a strong and effective culture, it resonates externally. It attracts customers, it builds lasting relationships, it builds brand recognition, and it creates trust, and so forth. Therefore, the ideal set of values and the most effective organizational culture cannot be defined. Also, depending on the industry the company functions, the lens for differentiating traits to be adopted. For instance, a local bank needs to have a more stable culture with consistent levels of service, ensuring trust, therefore being more rule-oriented. Also, they need to be customer-centric as they are operating in a service industry. Therefore, it is crucial that a company strikes the appropriate balance of cultural dimensions in line with the industry it functions in order to be successful. Research has brought about many negative references to organizational culture which can hinder growth and development. Negative corporate cultures can promote unethical behavior, especially if emulated by managers. Also, deeply embedded culture is difficult to change and therefore cannot effectively adapt to the continuously changing industry demands. Hence, they must salvage what is useful and work towards positive change through identifying desirable traits and developing them through leaders of the organization to become infectious behaviors and initiate change. Organizational culture is thus defined as the personality of an organization and its driving force, which dictates how things are done. It can be an organizational strongest asset or biggest liability. It has evolved over the life of an organization. It incorporates both advantages and disadvantages. Management must therefore not ignore but embrace culture and work with traits which can be useful in driving the company forward. Some organizational culture become attractive based on valuing employees. Therefore, they attract and retain talent, skilled and innovative staff who will work towards progressing the company. Organization also develops reputations which appeal to particular customers and potential employees. Also, a strong and effective culture resonates externally, which creates a positive public image. However, the organizational culture must also adapt to the industry the company functions, hence, the most effective traits cannot be identified. It is also noted how organizational culture can bring forth detrimental effects, including unethical behavior and difficulty in adapting to changing industry demands. Therefore, desirable traits must be identified and developed through leaders to become infectious changes for the advancement of the organization.